What's up, everyone? Evil Culture here, and I just finished Clair Obscur Expedition 33. So I wanted to go ahead and share my thoughts with everyone. For what it's worth, I'm sure there are already 100, videos out there saying the praises of this game. I just wanted to go ahead and echo all the praises, the much deserved praises that this game has already gotten, and wanted to share my own personal thoughts and why it's my pick for 2025's Game of the Year. So I'm not going to waste your time, and this video is going to be spoiler free. I would advise everyone who hasn't played this, turn off this video and go play it right now. Go in blind. I think the best experience would be for any player to not know anything about this game and just go out and play it. I have seen countless streamers on YouTube who never heard about this game, don't even like turn-based games or whatever. They gave this game a shot, and they are so enamored by it and so in love with it. This is one of those games that I would wholeheartedly, 10 out of 10, recommend this game to anyone. Without knowing what types of games they're into. This is a turn-based RPG, and it does have dodge and parrying mechanics in the game. However, you can turn off QTEs, and for those who really aren't good at parrying and dodging, there is an easy mode where you can survive the game without having to be good at it. And for the people who are a little bit seasoned or okay at it, like myself, I'm really not that good at parrying. But I really love the parry play style only because it's the most rewarding. And I'm good. I'm not great, and I was able to really enjoy this game. So if you haven't played this game, go ahead, stop this video, and go play the game and come back. If you're still here, thanks for being here. So the story in Expedition 33 is one of the best stories, if not the best story that I've ever had the opportunity to play in my whole experience in gaming. Without saying too much, you and your party are tasked to save the world as this large number on a monolith, a distant monolith, counts down the age of everyone who's scheduled to die. And it's to me, it was a very original premise and was like, wow, what the heck is going on? And really wanted me to explore the reasons behind this and kind of give you the motivation to go on this mission, right? And it's not just the story that's great. It's how the story is delivered. The game feeds you just enough information to make you think you know what's going on, and then leaves out enough to kind of make you wonder if your suspicions are correct, and to really scratch that itch to keep making you move forward. The characters are very well written. They're very well acted, both voice acting and the mocap actors for this game. They did a phenomenal job. These characters are like real, breathing, and living characters. The voice cast is a bunch of who's who you probably already heard. So I'm not going to really get into who the voice actors are. They did an awesome job, and the lines that were written for them are very natural. They speak how like real characters would speak, and the voice cast, it really did an awesome job at taking this script and then like running with it. Also, the direction and the cinematography in this game is also stellar. You might see, or you might notice that there was a lot of inspiration, especially in the combat, from the Persona series, and the Dutch angles that they use. It's very stylish, and then in times of poignancy and intimacy, things kind of slow down and they zoom in on different characters' facial animations. The musical score, you've probably heard that this soundtrack is awesome, and it is. And it's not just that every song is just kind of banger after banger after banger. They use the music in this game to really play on your emotions and evoke the necessary response from you that they want. And they're really kind of controlling your emotions throughout these scenes. And during very heartfelt and gut-wrenching sequences, you hear the crescendos, and then during inspirational speeches, like in the beginning of the game, you kind of hear this let's fucking go type of theme that just makes you super duper hype to get into the game. They really did an awesome job on the whole kind of manipulating you to, buy what they're selling, for lack of a better term. And this game really respects your time. I'm 46 years old and I'm married, so I don't have a lot of time to be gaming. On top of like trying to do the content creation thing, I do have to like work and cook and spend time with my wife. But this game, it's not 500 hours long. Some people may say that's a bad thing. They want long extended quests. This is a streamlined experience. You're looking about 30 to 100 hours, give or take, depending on how much side questing or how many of the extra bosses that you want to spend your time fighting. I would encounter bosses, and my stubborn ass would not end the fight. Even though I was overpowered, I would sit there learning the fight over and over until I could defeat the boss, and that would eat up some of my time. But I was so invested because you get this gameplay loop of the next one. I'm gonna get him the next time. So there's also no really filler in this game. Every quest that they send you on is rewarding. It's meaningful. It's tied into the story. It's tied into the universe. This game really does a good job of respecting your time as a player. And every time I turned the game off, I couldn't wait to just dive back in. That's how good it would kind of captivate me into wanting to play again. And the graphics in this game are beautiful right off the bat. They're not going to be photorealistic like offerings such as like Death Stranding. But I can't even begin to tell you how many times I said, wow, this game is beautiful whenever I walked into a level, or I turned a corner and I said, holy shit, this looks freaking crazy. The environments are varied, and because of how the story is set up, it ties in so well with the overall story that it kind of gives the developers this unlimited freedom to create wild, awe-inspiring, otherworldly sandboxes that you just haven't seen in other games. Yeah, it's got a desert level and a forest level, and a snow level, but these kind of like gaming tropes are easily offset by the other varied kind of dreamlike areas that you encounter throughout this world. And you'll also notice immediately, and like I said before, from the time you turn this game on, the soundtrack hits you. You will be humming some of your favorite tracks in this game. My wife and I, we sing one of the songs every day around the house, and we don't even speak French. banger after banger after banger. That's how good this soundtrack is. And it's not just the soundtrack, but also the sound effects and the sound design in this game. They are so good that you can time your parries and your dodges to the enemy's attacks by the sound that the enemy emits from their projectiles, from an incoming swing. It really is I guess well complemented with what's going on screen. I also get I guess chills and goosebumps during the cutscenes, and during battle. One of my favorite sounds has got to be this really low and loud bass drop whenever I hit a counterattack and a parry just right. The sound design adds another level that makes the counterattack so satisfying and just gives it some depth and some oomph, right? So you know you're like kicking that ass.
Danger! Keep
going. All of this really would be just window dressing if the moment-to-moment gameplay wasn't fun, but this game is super duper fun. Turn-based games can often be overlooked because some might find the pacing too slow for their taste, but Clair Obscur is anything but. The movement is great. They offer a visually stunning type of world map to move around. There's one character in particular who I love to move around with. It's Lune, and she levitates above the ground. And I don't know if it's just psychological. She probably moves at the same pace and speed as everyone else. But to me, I like her movement better than the other characters. I like to use her for the platforming sections. I feel like she moves faster. The combat is exhilarating. By now you've already heard about the QTEs, the parrying and dodging, but the system is executed so well that I think it's the new standard for turn-based RPGs. If I play another turn-based RPG and it doesn't have the dodging and parrying mechanic, it better bring something new to the table that is just as good, if not better. Than this, because I am now addicted to this style of turn-based. Other turn-based games or previous turn-based games where you didn't have this dodge and parry mechanic, you're relying on your stats, right, to tank the hit or to see if you'll successfully dodge it. Not in this game. It depends on skill, and with all the luminas and the pictos and the different weapons, you really get to turn your party and into your own unique play style. And not just that, but the different members of the party have their own play styles that you have to learn and incorporate into your play style. For instance, you've got the mage character who uses stains every time, or she generates stains every time she uses a skill, and these stains will then buff up the next attack. Another character uses tarot cards that can put her in twilight mode, and she stacks foretell on enemies, and this foretell can later be consumed, to buff up the attacks on these enemies. There's another character who has like a Wheel of Fortune style of attacks, and depending where the wheel is, you would choose your attack based on what mask the wheel is pointing to. I don't want to spoil too much. I want you guys to discover this yourself. But the gameplay and the moment-to-moment combat it's pure joy. It's exhilarating. At times, it's white knuckle. You'll get stressed. You'll get frustrated. Sometimes it feels like a Soulsborne game when it's a turn-based RPG. But now I have to get into the negatives. So this game isn't perfect, right? I've been playing the PC version using a PS5 controller, and for reference, I'm on a 7900 XTX with a 7800 X3D, and that's not the best, most craziest setup, right? But it's decent. And I was playing on medium to high, and I was still encountering dropped frames. Cutscenes appear to be capped at 30 frames per second, and even during the capped frame rate for the cutscenes, I was still encountering some stuttering, right? I also ran into some issues where the X button on my PS5 controller, within the menus, it didn't work, so I'd have to switch to my mouse. I suffered one game-breaking bug where I was supposed to go out and fight this boss, but the cutscene didn't trigger. I was like, where's the boss? So I was running around for 10 minutes before I decided, okay, maybe this is a bug. So I reloaded the save, and shortly after that, the cutscene triggered itself, and I was able to fight this boss. I also think the game could do well with map markers. For a world this big and with so many secrets, I wish you could put map markers down. As of this time, you don't have the ability to put those down. Also, this game is so beautiful. I don't know why they didn't put a dedicated photo mode in the game. I got around that by hotkeying my screenshot button, because I always wanted to take pictures of just how beautiful some of these areas were. My biggest gripe, however, is that there's a little bit of jank in the platforming, and this can become frustrating when the character needs to jump onto specific structures in the world that really require precision jumping. This game doesn't have like really great precision jumping. I'm looking at you, Justral Beach. Thankfully, though, you don't encounter that a lot in the game, where you need to jump and land on a dime. So, in closing, while Clair Obscur Expedition 33 definitely has its flaws, this is a case where the good far outweighs the bad by leaps and bounds. I would wholeheartedly, 10 out of 10, recommend this game to everybody, no matter what games they're into. There are games that are amazing out there, right? But then there are games that just they're amazing. They come out of nowhere and they kind of just deliver a punch to the gut and a cast iron skillet to the face. Clair Obscur Expedition 33 isn't just that type of game, and it's not just a genre-defining experience, but this game sets a whole new standard for not just turn-based RPGs, but for what games can be and what they should be. This game is $50. $50. I got my game for $39. And by the time my playthrough was over, I can tell you straight up, this game experience is one of those game experiences that is going to stay with me forever. And it's one of those that when someone says, oh, which game is in your top 5, and I'm gonna say, oh, I love a lot of them, but Clair Obscur Expedition 33 is gonna be in my top. This game is already goated in my book. If you enjoyed this video or found a little bit of value in it, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. It helps me to grow the channel and motivates me to be a better content creator for y'all. This is Evil Culture, and I'm out, y'all. Peace. For those who come after.